Welcome to episode 33 of The Grocery Guru, and we are here today with that guru, Andrew Grubb. How are you?
Yeah, morning, Darren. Yes, very good. Thank you very much.
Very good. Now, we both had the lurgy, but that's not why we're on video, to tell everyone we've had the lurgy.
No, I think you're right. It's as I think you put it, we've done so little social interaction in the last 15 months that the minute you actually come near anybody else, you catch something.
Does seem that way. Does seem that way. But more interestingly, for our viewers out there, what's in our postbox mailbag, on your lips, on your mind today?
Well, there's only one big news in the world of grocery today. I'm sure nobody's missed it, but it's the possible bid for Morrison's. Interestingly, we're doing this a couple of days late. It's Monday morning. The news broke Friday that what they call Clayton, Dubilier and Rice, American venture capital group, best known for floating B&M home bargains.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, and I've got ex-Tesco CEO Terry Leahy on their board. So they've got a bit of knowledge and a bit of experience. But yeah, that news broke Friday evening, and this morning Morrison shares have gone up over 30%.
So the news is that this venture capitalist, what do they want to do? I know you know this.
Well, yeah, interesting. The supermarkets are incredibly good value. You know, we've talked so many times in these sessions of how well they did over the pandemic, etc., but that hasn't been reflected in their share prices.
No.
And there was an article I read yesterday to say that the Morrison share price prior to today was the same as it was 20 years ago.
Wow. Okay.
So all that effort, hard work by 115,000 people who work for Morrison's has added effectively no value in 20 years.
And just to remind anyone who hasn't seen the previous episodes, we've talked about the pandemic. The supermarket sales have gone up roughly 10%. So they've done very well, everyone believes. But as an example, it's cost Sainsbury's 468 million in COVID costs, which means their profits went down by about 40%. So they seemingly have done well, but they haven't. Sorry, back to
you. And obviously that's what shareholders are most interested in. Are they making profits? And yeah, Tesco had its Q1 results out on Friday. Sales flat, if not slightly declining, because as we've talked about, they're now like for like with the massive boom last year, and everybody's going out to restaurants and pubs again.
Yes.
So yeah, the share prices of all the quoted retailers are really struggling, and they're saying that this might create a feeding frenzy. Even Tesco is not too big to be taken over.
Well, that's very true. So this venture capitalist that comes in, so what are we thinking? They might buy Morrison's. Morrison's are currently number 4. Their market share is about 11%. Is that right?
Yeah, that right. Yeah.
But we've also got in the wings here, Mr. Bezos and Amazon. What's your
no, your mind is thinking the same way as me. Yeah. Morrison's have a pretty huge distribution agreement with Amazon.
Yep.
So if you want Amazon Fresh, a lot of it is actually Morrison's product. There's now that a bid process has been initiated, I think 17th of July, so about 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. Anybody can basically bid for Morrison's.
Right.
And for Mr. Bezos, I mean, he's probably got 5 or 6 billion, which is what Morrison's are currently valued at, in his back pocket.
Sure.
And just think, for Amazon, you immediately become the 4th player in the UK market, with probably very few competition concerns because they're not a player at the moment.
It's very true. So, sorry, go on.
So you buy yourself a massive slug of the UK market. It must be of interest to them, and that would really set the cat amongst the pigeons. I think, if Morrison's went to a venture capitalist group, a bit like Asda, you would worry, would they just strip out all the assets? Would they forget the shopper? Yeah. Would it be a bit like Debenhams, just an asset stripping exercise? I don't think so, given who Clayton, Dubilier and Rice have got on their board. but you always worry with venture capitalists. However, if Amazon bought them, I mean, that just changes the whole chess game. It would, I think it would seriously freak out the likes of Sainsbury's and Tesco.
I think it would, and quite rightly. I mean, you've got Amazon who will come in, they'll be fourth player. So at the moment, they are messing about with a few stores. They've got to tie up with Morrison's, as you said, in the UK. We talked about Amazon Fresh, where there was the shop that you could go in. You didn't go in through any checkout. You walked in, grabbed your groceries and buggered off type thing. But they go from a few stores in the UK to having 10%, 11%. Wow. That's big. And let's imagine that happens for a moment. Amazon become the fourth player. What do you see as the impact?
Well, remember, Amazon is seen as a tech stock. They're not seen by the shareholders or the city in the same way as a grocer. So as Amazon have done in the book market and whatever other market, Amazon could decide to invest over a 15-year period to operate Morrison's at a loss.
Yeah.
They could come in and afford to go, right, we drop all prices 25% tomorrow, and it wouldn't affect Amazon's stock price or its profits or prospects. You know, it's like it's like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the analogy. It's sort of like, you know, the dinosaurs wandering around and some fantastic new beast turns up that just eats them.
Love the analogy.
Or I don't know, you know, steam-driven cars, and all of a sudden somebody comes along with a petrol car, and it's just, you know, game changer. I think it would be a game changer because Amazon would not have to play by what the rules that we're sort of used to in the UK. They could just decide we're going for it.
Change the rules. That's just reminded me for a moment of that famous quote from Henry Ford, where someone said something like, "Why didn't you ask the customers what they wanted, or the shoppers?" And he said, "Well, if I'd asked them, they would have wanted faster horses."
Yes, okay, I like that.
Brilliant, isn't it? So Amazon aren't looking for faster horses; they're looking for, okay, we're going to bring in the motor car. Okay,
yeah,
be a game changer.
Yeah. Unless to build on your analogy, Amazon are thinking, well, actually, supermarkets are in their own way dinosaurs, and we don't need to buy 155 odd Morrison stores. We'll just keep plugging away at home delivery and take it over that way.
Could be. All right. So, scary thoughts. You said it's roughly 4 weeks before we find out. So over the next 4 weeks, there's a bidding frenzy going on, and then we find the winner. Is that how this thing works?
Well, no, it depends. I mean, you know, Clayton, Dubilier and Rice have shown interest. Therefore, they have 4 weeks to put up or shut up. Right. Then they can't make any other bid for 6 months. Okay. But obviously, anybody else, other private equity firms, Amazon, whoever, you know, during this, you know, process, a bit like a feeding frenzy, they can jump into the pond and start making splashes themselves. So it's going to be a fascinating 4 weeks. You know, I'm famous for making my predictions. Yeah, I think Morrison's will be sold in 4 weeks. Okay. I won't say to who, but I'd probably put a £5 bet on Amazon.
Okay, all right. Well, you heard it here. Andrew's put £5 of his money, and anyone who knows Andrew knows that rarely happens. So,
well, I didn't say. I said £5, but I'll charge it against you, Darren.
No, okay, that makes sense. All right, Andrew, thank you for your guruing this week. That's useful, good insight, and we'll talk to you next week. Hope the lurgy.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Ciao.